Alright, let's dive into something that's got the gaming world buzzing. Nintendo's just dropped their lineup for Gamescom 2026, and honestly, there's a lot to unpack here. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me hit you with this. What makes this announcement so intriguing isn't just the games themselves, but what they imply about Nintendo's strategy moving forward. Personally, I think this lineup is a pretty clear signal that Nintendo's doubling down on both first-party innovation and third-party partnerships, and that's a big deal. So, let's start with a hook: Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. Now, on the surface, it's a sequel to a game that was already a hit, but what's really interesting here is the timing. With the Switch 2 rumored to be on the horizon, this could be Nintendo's way of showcasing what their new hardware can do. I mean, think about it. Sports Resort was a Wii classic, and bringing it back now feels like a nod to the past while looking to the future. What many people don't realize is that these sports games are often technical showcases, pushing the limits of motion controls and graphics. So, this isn't just a casual game, it's a statement. Next up, Splatoon Raiders. Now, Splatoon is already a massive franchise, but this spin-off feels like Nintendo's attempt to expand the universe in a way that's both familiar and fresh. From my perspective, this could be their answer to the Battle Royale craze, or maybe even a deeper dive into the lore. What makes this really interesting is that Splatoon's always been about creativity and competition, so seeing how they adapt that to a new format could be a game changer. Then there's Pokemon Pokopia, which, let's be honest, is probably the biggest crowd pleaser here. But here's the thing, it's not just a new game, it's an expansion pass. This raises a deeper question. Is Nintendo shifting toward a more service-based model for their flagship franchises? If you take a step back and think about it, this could be the start of a new trend where they keep players engaged with ongoing content rather than just one-off releases. Now, let's talk third-party titles, because this is where things get really fascinating. 007 First Light and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 are huge gets for Nintendo. What this really suggests is that they're serious about closing the gap with Sony and Microsoft when it comes to third-party support. Personally, I think this is a smart move. It's not just about attracting new players, but also about retaining the ones they already have by giving them more variety. A detail I find fascinating is the inclusion of Metaphor, ReFantazio. This is a completely new IP, and it's coming from Atlas, the team behind Persona. If you're a fan of RPGs, this is a big deal. What it implies is that Nintendo's not just relying on their established franchises, they're willing to take risks on new ideas. And in my opinion, that's what keeps them relevant in an industry that's constantly evolving. Finally, let's not overlook the fact that Mega Man, Dual Override and Dragon's Dogma 2, Dark Arisen will be playable for the first time at Gamescom. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a strategic move to draw in both retro fans and modern gamers. One thing that immediately stands out is how Nintendo's balancing nostalgia with innovation, and that's a tightrope walk not many companies can pull off. So what's the bigger picture here? If you ask me, this lineup is Nintendo's way of saying, we're not just resting on our laurels. They're pushing boundaries, experimenting with new formats, and bringing in big names to solidify their position in the market. But here's the real question. Will it be enough to keep up with the competition? Personally, I think they're on the right track, but only time will tell. What do you guys think? Are you hyped for any of these titles? Or is there something you're surprised didn't make the cut? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Until next time, keep gaming.